Yeah, this is gonna be the last one. I need a rest after this because I'm in pain. My mouth is still in pain, but I'll manage. This is 2006's Running Scared, not the Running Scared movie from the 80s with Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines. This is 2 hours and 2 minutes, so let's get started and get this over with so we can move on with our day. This is a good movie. I recommend you watching this in Paul Walker's memory. I want to lower it, but I can't because if I lower it, it's gonna it's gonna it's gonna skip. And this is not a comedy, so it's a little bit different than what we saw the last 3 days. There he is. I miss him, man. I miss you, Paul Walker. Fast and the Furious just was not the same after he passed. They should have just stopped. 7 was the perfect send off for all the characters, and no, we have to get like 4 more. Yeah. It's pretty intense. This was years before he passed, though. This wasn't like right a year before. Running Scared. Because people mistake this for the 1986 film, which is the same name, different movie, though. Because originally I was going to do Since You've Been Gone, but the disc is scratched, so I had to put something longer and in better condition. So it's a great looking film. Who directed this again? Uh, Wayne Kramer. I never heard of him. He's a great actor, and he was, a good family man. And at least he didn't get canceled by. There's Johnny Messner. Yeah, this is way more dark and gritty than the Beverly Hills Cop movies. Even though those were R rated, they had comedy. This looks like a David Ayer movie. David Ayer when he did Edge of Watch and The Watch and Street Kings. I think he did that one too. Yep, slow mo shot. Damn. Yeah. If you were going to this movie thinking this is going to be funny, it's not. This is really really dark. This is a cool looking scene. Yep, yep. That's gonna hurt. It starts like This starts like a Max Payne movie or the Hitman movie. Yeah, or the Punisher. Yep, he slipped on his own blood. I've always liked Johnny Messner ever since Anaconda 2 because he's got a manly voice. I already did that one, so I have to do this one. Hmm. Some people say the movies like this glorify violence. I'm like, no, this is a dark and gritty action crime thriller. It's not a kid. It's not a comedy. It's just a movie, guys. It's not. It's not. It's not a documentary. Those are way more intense. So tired, but those blue eyes, man. Yes, there's kids in this movie, but it's not a kids movie. That kid looks just like Jonathan Taylor Thomas when he was a kid in the '90s. Yeah, it's not him, but it looks just like him. Are those girls gone wild? Yeah, I think those were. They don't sell those anymore because people have the internet now. So why do they need that? Because Hours was really hard to watch, and there's Vera Farmiga, yeah, in her thong in this movie. She's a sexy woman. She still is. I didn't like her in Godzilla King of the Monsters. It's not my fault. Look at her. Look at her sister. She's still desirable. She has those gorgeous eyes and that face. Yes, sir. Have it your way. We can't resist estrogen, and you know it. I miss you, man. Mm-hmm. The sweet spot. I keep saying it. A woman's body is a work of art. I'm not gonna ever stop saying that because it's true. It's not something to be ashamed of. Even with a movie like this, you have to have a moment of humanity. Yeah, the chat's pretty empty because I'm doing this so early, but I have to because she has freckles. Yeah, she's no Caitlyn Deaver, but again, who is, you know? I mean, Caitlyn Deaver's the most gorgeous girl with a nose like that I've ever seen in my life. It's hard to top, you know, near perfection. She's so beautiful. Yes, she is Spidey. Vera Farmiga to this day is still a knockout. If she was ashamed of her body, she would have ruined her face with surgery. With like Amanda Bynes doesn't look the same. Like I saw her a picture of her. I'm like, what happened to you? What did you do to yourself? You're gonna age. That's just life. I'm aging, but you don't see me my face falling off after the surgery I had. That's why I'm not doing surgery again. I don't want to ruin my face or my left side of my cheek because it's nice and smooth. This still is rugged, but I'll be okay, guys. I survived. If I could survive this, I could survive anything. Even a leap year like this. It's sad what happened to Amanda Bynes. Yeah, it is, because she was a beautiful girl, and she just, after she did Easy A, she lost her mind, got arrested, you know, got into a lot of problems, and ruined her face with surgery. She has like painted on eyebrows now. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not messing up this face. You guys want to see this face for more years to come? I'm not touching it. I'll just groom it and keep it fresh and never do drugs. We all got problems, kid. We all got problems. Doesn't mean you have to make them worse. Boys. Yeah, he does look like Taylor Thomas. He even sounds like him. This is why I walk and I don't drive. I don't want to die in a car. I don't. Because then nobody can hear me. Smoking is bad for you. It is. Driving cars is very dangerous. Yeah, people don't keep their eyes on the road. And they're smoking while they're driving or vaping or texting. What scene is this? John Wayne. That kid has to be in this dark and gritty world. And no streaming like nowadays. Oh, that's Cameron Bright. Yeah, that's the kid that was in. He was in Christmas in Wonderland and Twilight. Yeah, I knew I recognized him. He's Canadian. Mm-hmm. 8 millimeter, and now people use digital now. Mm-hmm. People in this, yeah, movies are gone digital now. They don't use 8 millimeter anymore. They rarely do. I'm not taking that. I don't. I didn't want to be on Ritalin when I was like 8 or 9 years old. I'm hyper. It's just who I am. I can still function. I haven't been as hyper now because of my tooth. There's a difference between ADHD and autism. Big difference. I can function, and I don't go. "Ooh," no, I don't do that. Look at me. Do you think I look scared? No. Cameras don't scare me. They never did. Even when I was a kid and my parents would film me, or my uncles would film me, or people that I know, my friends would. I'm not scared. I'm not scared of a camera. I don't want cameras in my face all the time, but when I'm filming, I know what to expect. Big difference. You think I would have performed in plays in college if I was scared of cameras? There's cameras everywhere, guys. Smoking is bad, man. Good morning, heterosexual guy. Unlike Scorsese's The Departed, which came out the same year, this movie gets to the point. Yes, this is 20 minutes shorter. It is long, but it's not 2.5 hours. Some of these directors think dark and gritty movies can be carry. You know, you could carry a 3 hour movie. You know, a dark and gritty movie could be that and be long. No, it doesn't need to be long. It doesn't need to be long to be effective. Yeah, I would not put this movie on a date night because I don't want to scare my date away. I never see dark and gritty with a girl because they'll think that I'm into this, and I'm like, I'm into action, but I'm not into abuse and and overly violent people. Yep, you can't say that now. You heard that? I don't want to do a podcast tomorrow anyway. I'm gonna go outside, and then Tuesday is New Year's Eve, so I will do a video, my update. I'll do my update, but I'm not doing a live stream until New Year's Day. Again, I get it, Paul Walker. I get it. I'm not a fan of them either. Putin is one of the worst people in this world, and he's gonna get his. He doesn't like his own people. Next year, people are gonna get theirs. I I even t- I even told off a guy on YouTube, not Josh. It was some other guy that is so negative about everything. I'm like, yeah, there's a reason why your channel will be forgotten and mine is gonna persevere. Paul Walker's very intense in this movie. hmm This is the perfect movie to end this year with. Considering how dark this year was for me, even before my extraction. Yeah, he was a talented actor. I still miss him every day. Mm-hmm. That bullet went right through his wall, man. There's some good effects here, and again, this didn't cost $200 million. You know how much Mission Impossible 8 cost? $400 million. Where did the money go? Where? How was that movie cost more than Avatar? I don't get it. I don't get it. It got delayed a year, and you have to put the budget goes up by 200%. That's mental. Also, unlike 25th Hour, which is directed by Spike Lee, it's not long. That movie is 10 minutes too long. A crime thriller does not need to be this long. It doesn't. 2.5 hours is a lot to ask for people. Reservoir Dogs is under 2 hours, which works. Because if it was 2.5 hours, it'd be over long. And I get you want to tell a compelling story, but you don't need to make it as long as an epic. Because some crime films just don't know when to end. Some of them are like 3 hours long. I'm like, why? I don't have that kind of time. There's the bullet. So he's chewing gum. What people do when they're nervous. Speaking of Paul Walker, the Fast and Furious should have stopped after he died. Yes, it should have. Because after he died, it's like every movie is a cartoon now. And I'm like, it was already ridiculous by the fourth movie, but I'm like, it just got stupider and stupider after he died. Because 8 was just not necessary. 9 was a joke. 10 was a joke. I haven't seen Hobbs and Shaw yet, but I heard that was dumb. And then the last movie is going to be like 4 movies too late. This movie's just as intense as when I first saw it a few years back. Because him and Anton Yelchin died way too soon, and it was both by car accidents. With Anton, he was just getting his mail, and then a car crushed him. I'm like, how? How does that happen in front of your house? I mean, if it was on the road or something, I get it, but in his own home, why do you think when I open the mail, I'm like, I put a hand out, grab the mail, and go right in the house. I don't mess with cars, guys, or any vehicles. I mean, a snowplow tried to kill me last week. Oh my god, it's not good. Yeah, after 7, they should have stopped because really that was a perfect send off. And people don't just they want to when money's to be made, they're gonna just milk a franchise for all it's worth, even after a actor is gone. I think I need to lie down. Yeah, because this movie's over 2 hours, so that's better. I'll be here, guys. I just need to rest because I had a long day. Yeah. Why didn't I talk to Josh yesterday? Because I'm still in a lot of pain because of my mouth. I can do this. It's just that I can't be as animated here, and I won't need to because this movie's not a comedy. And I'm tired. I did a lot of podcasts this year. I did more than a lot of other people, and I don't have a Patreon. I do this on my own with no budget. There's Josh Palmentary, yeah. Good luck with your rest, son. Thanks, Spidey. I'm gonna continue this, and then, but the next 2 days, no podcast. Poor kid. Also, this looks like a film. It doesn't look digital. NyQuil. Okay, next scene. This movie's so haunting. We're about 32 minutes in. Jeez. Yikes. Stash. You know what that means. It's a kid, he's not a midget. That was a good shot. Yes, sir. A dog. Yep, there's abuse in this scene. Too much abuse in this movie. This is so dark, yeah. This movie makes The Dark Knight look like a kid's movie. Freeze. No, they don't have gun. They don't have guns on Sesame Street. Any episode of that show or the movies. movie is, yeah, it has. Yeah, this movie I would not recommend watching this with a date because they're gonna be terrified. That kid, this, I'm surprised this actor, he did this and he did Twilight. So if he could survive that, he could survive anything. No. See, like I said, this movie's very dark and gritty. No, he was in one of the Twilight sequels, not the first one. I think it was in like New Moon, Eclipse, and then the last Deathly Hollows. I mean, not Deathly Hollows, uh, Breaking Dawn. Not Deathly Hollows. That's Harry Potter. Yeah, this movie's dark and gritty. So yeah, watch this alone. Do not watch this with your family or any significant other because it will scare them away. They'll think that you're into this lifestyle. Yes, sir. Like I said, a work of art. Nothing to hide there. Hmm. I'm not shy. Chitties. This and the Penguin are probably two of the most gritty things I saw this year. Well, even though I've seen this movie before, but I forgot just how brutal it is. It reminds me of Penguin because that the Penguin had this kind of tone. It's dead men tell no tales. Yikes. 40 minutes in. I'm glad I'm wearing headphones because, yeah, just for precaution. Did you see? Did you see this in theaters? No, God, no. This was in 2006. I was in college, so I didn't have time to go see it. I didn't know about it until I saw a couple of YouTube videos about it. But it's good. It's just really dark and gritty. Oh, Paul, you carry this movie. Excuse me. Meth. Yikes. Mm-hmm. Those eyes. They could tell a whole story. Mm-hmm. That food does look good. Even the kids in this movie are not safe from the crime that's going on. Yikes. It's very violent. Yeah. RoboCop is way more violent, but this is dark and gritty. It's not even tongue in cheek. It's like really, really. That are over the top villains. These villains are over the top, but not in a comedic way. They're more like, you know, hunters. This diner scene, yeah, it's not like the diner scene in Madam Web. That was played as a joke. This is not a joke. This is taken more seriously than a lot of movies today. This is shot really well. I don't know what else this director has done, but I gotta check it out after I'm done here. Because his shots are, like really, really clever. The acting is really solid in this movie, mostly. After this, I gotta see something a little bit lighter. Because this is really, really dark and gritty. But I knew what I was getting into. I think that guy was in RoboCop too. It was Duffy. Manny Perez. Sheesh. The makeup is really well done. So the trains. Mm-hmm. We're almost an hour in. Good. We're about halfway through the film. She was also in Hawkeye. You know, Vera Farmiga. This is an R-rated movie. This is not a PG-13. There's almost as many F-bombs here as there were in Deadpool Wolverine. Again, stop taking your kids to movies like this. It will traumatize them, guys. I saw Terminator 2 when I was like 8, and I didn't get traumatized. Well, I was 7 actually, but it's not a movie for kids. You were prostitute in Moscow? If this was made this year, this would have been reduced to PG-13. Yeah, and it would have its teeth ripped out of it because this movie is dark and gritty, and it needs to stay that way. If this was censored, it wouldn't be the same movie. It'd be like toned down. You gotta present life in the raw when it's an R-rated movie. You don't water it down for children or teenagers that are under 17. Sledgehammer. Smoking is bad for your lungs, girl. Vera Farmiga's Ukrainian descent, so that's kind of Russian in a way. Except that Russia hates those people. I don't know why. They speak the same freaking language. It's like Spaniards and Mexicans. It's the same language. It's just different inflections. That's all. There's no difference between them. At least not for me anyway. They're both foreign languages, foreign places that speak Spanish. It's the same thing to me. I don't see much of a difference. Yeah. It's not. No, nobody should. A kid that age? It's a good actress. Not just absolutely gorgeous, but a good actress. I've seen it. It's just in Godzilla, her it didn't make any sense that she was letting these monsters loose to save the planet. Yeah, no, the monsters are not there to save the planet. They're there to destroy things and fight each other. That's what the kaiju are there for. Ugh, I'm very tired, but I'm doing this podcast anyway, despite that. Ugh. Bad neighborhood. I'll just mute this part. Yeah, this movie's really dark and gritty. Yeah, this movie's really, really intense. This and Hostage with Bruce Willis is it came out around the same time, and they put kids in danger, and it's not a kids movie. Yeah, when people see an R-rated movie, they have to know what to expect. Don't expect Mickey Mouse. Yeah, don't expect it. That's why these parents that take their kids to R-rated movies and they say they're horrified. I'm like, did you read the rating? Did you check on the internet on IMDb to check the rating of the movie? Do your research, you fools. Don't take your children to something that's inappropriate for them, especially nowadays. Like it's like taking a kid to see Nosferatu instead of Moana 2 or Sonic 3. No, you take your kids to what's appropriate for them. Don't take them to adult films because it's gonna ruin them. I'm telling you. People are like, oh no, it won't. Yeah, it will. Yeah, this feels like a Tarantino movie or a Scorsese film because it's really, really intense. You saw there's toys in there. Hey, look who's there, Elizabeth Mitchell. I forgot she was in this movie. Again, I haven't seen this movie in years. I heard the commentary a long time ago. Yeah, even the walls of this movie are dark and gritty. Again, that's the same Mexican guy that was in. He was in Beverly Hills Cop 3. Yes, people are gonna say this movie has racist moments in it, but again, I'm not Mexican, so I wouldn't know. Again, man, they're stoned out of their minds. That's not funny. This movie is not funny. If people laugh in this movie, they must laugh at graphic violence. But hey, to each their own, right? This is not a movie for kids. Paul Walker deserved an award for this movie because you don't see Brian from Fast and the Furious here. It's like a way more intense version of him. If I was in a movie like this at such a young age, I would have needed therapy. Because some people don't know how intense this is for children to be on set of a movie like this. They think it's kids. New Jersey Razors, yeah, that's his T-shirt. It's almost 10 o'clock. Yeah, yeah. I need to see something lighter after this. I really do because I'm like, yeah, this is a really dark movie. Because it says it right here in black and white. Where's for pervasive strong language, not just there's every four-letter word here that you can think of. Brutal violence, language, sexuality, and drug content. Yeah, everything that makes a movie dark and gritty. What's not here is there's no rape in this movie, which is good because I don't need to see that. This movie got its message across. There's Vera Farmiga again. Yeah, you are. An address. We're an hour and 7 minutes in, so we're more than halfway through. Geesh, that's scary. That's Shadow. Yeah, there's prescriptions, all right. They said drug content. They don't just mean illegal. This is terrifying. Oh, Pumpkin! Ooh, I'm dying again. Yeah. Remember that Bugs Bunny cartoon? Yeah. That's in Jersey. It's weird how they have a Puerto Rican flag there, but this guy's Mexican. He's not a Puerto Rican. That was a good transition. Hoboken and New York City, yeah. That guy's creepy. He has a white suit and white hat. Yep, this is the only scene that's dark that you can't see much. The rest of the movie is well lit. Rogue, low solo. Most of the movie you can't see it. It's way too dark. Mm, mm. Yep, he's on fire. This is real fire, not CGI. Yeah, this movie does not pull any punches, man. Yeah, this movie is creepy. Yeah, because this could really happen. That's the thing about this movie. It feels more realistic than a lot of movies that came out this year. The other Running Scared you could see during a day because it's a comedy. This is not. The closest to a tone like this is the John Wick movies. Hopefully, Ballerina will be like this, but not super dark. Like like I can't enjoy it because it's too dark and gritty, or it's way too long, like John Wick 4, which could have been 20 minutes shorter. The whole thing with the Russians could have been cut. It's almost done. We're like more than halfway through. Playroom, yeah, right. Balls of the Clown. Yep. Another movie similar to this is Denis Villeneuve's Prisoners. That movie was that movie was so intense I couldn't sit through it again. It's just way too intense. He has asthma. Who puts a bag over a kid's head? I wouldn't do that to a kid I don't like. 'Cause I'm not like that. I don't torture children like that. Yep, you both deserve it. Bad people deserve are gonna get what they deserve next year. So Hamas and all you other people out there, you're gonna get yours. Nobody that's hateful in this world gets away with it. Nobody. Nobody. Bad people get what they deserve. That's why P. Diddy's gonna get arrested. Is gonna be in prison the rest of his life because he's a bad person. You don't keep your hands to yourself. You get yours. See, I don't even touch myself. I forgot how intense this movie is, but I'm like, yeah, it's one of those. Paul Walker's an anti-hero in this movie. He's not a villain. 81 minutes in. The last movie I saw that was this dark and gritty was Joker back in 2019. Yeah, that was having this tone because John Wick, I've only seen the second one in the theater, not any of the other movies. He's Canadian, not American. The actor. No, he's not. No, he's not. Cameron Bright is from Canada. Like my friend Evan. He's Canadian. I was born in America. Good thing this movie's not 2.5 hours. It would be hard to sit through. Because at 2 hours and 2 minutes, that's long enough. An hour and 24 minutes in. We're almost done. Mark McGuire. Yeah, I remember when before he used steroids. That guy again. Christmas. Oh, this movie's not a Christmas movie. 10 o'clock. We're almost in the third act. This this movie, if it had over 400 swear words, this would have gotten a NC-17 just for the language, not really for the violence. Because while it is violent, it's not overly violent. Like there's some blood and squibs and some shooting, but there's no decapitations or things like that. Yeah, because if any movie has more than 400 swear words, it gets an NC-17. Wow, I didn't see that coming when I first saw that. It's like, yeah, so Joker Folie à Deux didn't have an excuse. The first one was really violent like this, and the sequel is just like mean spirited instead of telling a story. That's probably why Josh doesn't like the movie The Warriors. Yes, it's violent. Yes, it's about gang violence, but it's epic. It's one of the most beautifully shot crime films I've ever seen. He's just like, oh, it's a bunch of black people in gangs. That's racist. It was the 70s. You weren't around. You don't know what it was like. I was around in the 80s in New York City. So, yeah, I can relate, even though I was never in a gang. Never. 90 minutes in. So, we're about a half hour left. The yellow pages. No one uses yellow pages anymore. They don't have those. That's what we used before the internet. It was like it was an information book that had numbers on it. Brighton Beach. I used to live near that area. I'm still shaking. Ugh. A skating rink. All the lights went off. Is it? Whack you? Yeah, I remember the scene. Got hit with a puck. You know how hard that is? We know this whole movie is serious. There's no unintentional comedy in this movie. It's all serious. Uh, this movie is hard, man, to watch. If you have kids, it's hard to watch a movie like this. I don't have kids yet, but still, if I did, I wouldn't watch this movie for a year. He has a John Wayne tattoo on his back. 97 minutes in. Of course he was gonna die. Some parents thought that every movie, even the R-rated ones, are for kids. They're not. This is not. And and this movie's 18 years old, and it's still just as intense than some R-rated movies today. That's not really blood. It's probably grape juice. That's a good shot. That looks like grape juice. Yeah. There's a lot of dead bodies in this movie. And nobody hears this. There's no security guards or anything. No. 100 minutes in. That's a cool shot. Bit his ear off. hmm In crime, there are always consequences. Pretty brutal, man. This movie does not hold back. There's movies that came out this year that are not even close to being this violent and over the top. I mean, even Deadpool and Wolverine, at least it has some laughs with its violence. It wasn't just senseless violence for the sake of it. It had some levity whenever somebody was getting brutally murdered. At least when he kills all those TVA guys, he's dancing. Here is no, there's none of that here. How was your Christmas? It was good, Brennan. It was a lot better than other years. Yep, it was wired. Yep. That's probably the only digital effect in the movie. And yet nobody heard those gunshots. That's the most ironic thing that they men got brutally murdered and not one person heard a shot or heard people screaming. I would have heard something. Skating rinks have cameras, you know. Of course, it's a movie. I can suspend my disbelief, but in real life, if there were gunshots in Madison Square Garden, they would have heard it when there's a hockey game, you know, a Rangers game or something. Yeah, you would hear something. And now the cops show up. They're gonna see all that blood and carnage. Houston is the fourth most populated city in the USA after New York City. Oh, you don't you live near Houston? So you live in Texas? Okay. There's someone that I there's a friend I have that's from Texas as well. She lives near Houston. It's probably hot over there because here in New York it's really cold. Well, actually, it's cloudy and it's humid, but it's colder than it is in Texas. I miss you, Paul Walker. His performance is just it's riveting. Overlooked at the Oscars. Yeah, he needs a bath. Get all that blood over his face. That happened to my face 2 weeks ago when my lips were bleeding. Lives in Minnesota. It snows where she lives. Yeah, Minnesota's the north, so it does snow there. Even Sonic 3 wasn't this dark. I mean, yes, Shadow's dark, but he's not like brutally murdering people. That would have taken kids out of the movie because, you know, they wanted to keep it family friendly, even though he is a dark character in the games. It's like Batman. People take their kids to see it, but they don't know how dark and gritty he is in the comics or the animated series or the two Tim Burton movies. We're almost done. Yeah, good, because I don't think I can handle any more bloodshed in this movie. There's that last. You could do a Batman voice. Yeah, I'm glad they don't do it here. Yep, take that penguin suit. Yep, right in the neck. It was so violent they had to cut away. Because this movie would have gotten an NC-17 if it was made today. Also, there's no subtitles here. So I don't know what she said. There was no subtitles. Been to Florida before. I went to Florida back in 2013 to Disney World when I was 10. Rogue One, Rogue One is not as Rogue One is not as dark as this. Not even close. It doesn't have the balls to be R-rated. In Houston, there's a mall called the Galleria. It's the seventh largest mall in the USA. I've heard about it. Also in the Houston Center, there was a theme park called Six Flags Astro World. Yeah, I know. This movie has a depressing ending. That's one thing I don't like about it. The ending is downbeat. And Paul Walker really did die. Not he died after this, but still, it's a depressing ending. Yeah, I got to see something lighter after this because Jesus, this movie is so dark. I don't think I can watch this again because Paul Walker, died, and it's hard to watch this. Hours at least has a better, more uplifting ending than this. Yeah, I'll probably just donate this. I can't watch this again. It's just too intense. I should have chosen something a little bit shorter and lighter. Well, he doesn't die, but still, it's still a depressing ending, though. It's still depressing because look at all these people that died. It's hard to watch. This movie is really, really intense, but it's entertaining because it's not a documentary. But if you've never seen Paul Walker in a movie, this is not a good way to start because it's a lot. I miss you, Paul Walker. Rest in peace, man. One of the best actors that we lost way too soon. Yeah, that was running scared, and trust me, after watching this, yeah, I wouldn't blame you guys for not running scared. Yeah, Wayne Kramer, I got to see what else he's done because, geez, this movie is it's a lot. It really is. Like this makes Penguin look more watchable because while Penguin's dark and gritty, it's not this dark. There's some levity in scenes, some flashbacks that are not as dark as they're, they are a little bit more calm. This is very hardcore and brutal and angry than the Penguin was. But thanks for watching, guys. Acknowledge me, and I will do my next podcast in the new year. So I'll see you in 2025, guys. Take it easy.